Welcome to DubLife Diaries, the podcast where passion meets the open road. I'm Joe Person, your host, and also a lifelong dubber. Buckle up, because this ride is just beginning. This podcast is sponsored by Volksmania magazine. Good times, great cars, awesome Volksmaniacs. Visit Volksmania.com to learn more about this class-leading VW magazine. Welcome back to DubLife Diaries. Most people think cars are just machines, metal, wheels, and an engine that gets you from point A to point B. But then every once in a while, there's something that's just a little bit different. There's something that shows up in your life that's not just transportation. It's a memory. It's an identity. It's a connection. And for some people, it becomes the thread that runs through their entire life without them even realizing it. Today's guest is one of those people. Drew Estep. He didn't grow up rich. No dealerships in the family, no race teams, no big flashy story, probably like you'd even expect. Just a middle-class family from Tennessee trying to make life work. But somehow, woven into all of it, the highs, the lows, the chaos, the rebuilding, there's Volkswagen. And it's not in the way that you'd expect it either. We're talking about beat-up Beetles that barely ran. A car with literally a wooden bumper. A wooden bumper. A bus with flowers and a giant FU painted on the side of it. And moments that hit so deep, a grown man will even break down just thinking about getting this car back into his life. Not because of what it's worth either. Because of what it represents. Family, brotherhood, identity, and that feeling that when you lose yourself for a little while sometimes, and then something unexpected pulls you back. What makes this story so powerful is it's not just about cars. And Drew will be the first one to tell you this ain't even really his story. It's his family story. It's about brothers who show up when you need them the most. About rebuilding life when it knocks you flat on your back. About finding that one thing that keeps calling you back no matter how far you drift off. And somehow for him, that thing is Volkswagens. From Beetles to buses to building an entire garage around one car and ending up with four. This is going to be one of those conversations that starts with cars, but very quickly turns into something way deeper. So if you've ever had that something in your life, a passion, a person, a memory that's stuck with you through everything, this one's going to feel a little bit different. This one's for you. Drew Estep, welcome to DubLife Diaries.
Hey, thank you, Joe. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, brother. You are so welcome. I've been looking forward to this one since I talked to you that first time on the cell phone for just a little while. This is going to be a great family, great story. I'm excited for this one. Before we get into it, though, and dive into questions, let me give a shout out to my sponsors real quick. First up on the list, Volksmania magazine. You guys know how I feel. Flyest VW magazine on the face of the planet. Check those guys out. Volksmania.com. You can use DubLife 10, DUBLIFE, the number 10 at checkout, and you'll get 10% off your subscription. Second up, Salty Dub, from the beach to the bay. Salty Dub is tearing up the VW coastal scene here in the West Coast, Central Florida area. Epic events, swag. SaltyDub.com, same discount code, DubLife10. You can use it on the website for merch, and you'll get 10% off anything that you purchase or put in your shopping cart and check out. Last shout out, Vera Upholstery of St. Pete, the most epic custom interiors in your Volkswagen, really in your automobile. These guys are the top of the top when it comes to upholstery in boats, so marine, and in automotive. Check these guys out, VeraUpholstery.com. My buddy Alan Guevara and his team are masterful craftsmen. Give those guys a shot. Check them out. Check out their website. All right, buddy, I'm done. Back to you. You ready to jump into this?
Let's do it, man. I'm ready for you. Hopefully.
Right, so take me back then. What did life look like growing up in your family?
Well, my father was a military guy, served 23 years in the military. Armed forces, was Army. Retired when I was younger. My brothers got to experience a few things overseas, whatever. But we retired. He retired back in his hometown in Johnson City, Tennessee. Uh, and we grew up with a lot of love, not a lot of money. My dad, once you get out of the military, he actually didn't graduate high school. He 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 finished the eighth grade. He was the only child. Um, Went to school in the military, got his GED. When he retired, went back to school, went to college, got a degree. Uh,
Wow.
he was more of a trades guy than anything,
Okay.
very hands-on, which kind of helped me out in life, obviously, and helped my brothers out as well. But yeah, small knit family. My two brothers, Scott and Billy, huge part of my life, still are. My mom and father, just loving us and giving us everything we needed.
Now, you said that you didn't grow up with a lot of money, but when we talk about your background, I look at your story, your memories sound rich. Why is that?
Just close knit family. Uh, my mom and dad, they both grew up in East Tennessee. They both were only about 4 miles apart. So all of our kinfolk, I guess you would say, is in East Tennessee. And, you know, being that close and around that community, I think that made us rich. I mean, just being able to be around family and getting that love. And, like I said, money wasn't necessarily always there. It wasn't like we were. I mean, we were fed, clothed, and had a roof over our heads. But as for like riches, no. Now our dad did spoil us. I'm not going to sit here and exaggerate. He did spoil us a little bit. So if there was anything that he could get for us to, we played sports. Of course, there were a few dirt bikes that we could get to fix up or whatever, stuff like that.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned Beetles. They were around, always all through your childhood growing up. What do you think it was about those early Beetles that stuck with you the most?
But for me, uh, it was definitely the smell. It's something about that when you sit down in those seats and that crack, and I don't know what it is. I've heard so many stories about horse hair,
Yeah.
those things.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but the original is the best. I mean, there's something about it.
I hear that. I've brought it up myself on these previous episodes, and I have guests that say the same thing. It's especially if they have original interior. I think it's a mixture of the vinyl and the horsehair and the gasoline. It's like a mixture of all of it. But
Absolutely.
but you're right, man. That scent is one of a kind, for sure. Now, growing up, do you remember the feeling of the car more than the car itself, or do you remember the car itself more than the feeling of having those cars?
I'll be honest with you. I think it's a little bit of both. I've always enjoyed the flat dashes, the metal dashes. I've always loved that feel, the look. Um, as a kid, not getting to drive, but being around that. And to be honest, uh, the experience of the car and riding in them, obviously, yes. I mean, there's just so much, with the brothers in the back, no seat belts. We're acting a fool, and Dad's trying to calm us down, and I guess it's a little bit of both. I've enjoyed everything about those cars. Still do.
Now you say, and I mentioned this in your intro, but your first Beetle had a wooden bumper.
Yeah.
Explain that for me, because I got to hear this story.
Well, my middle brother was in college, and I was in high school, and just getting ready to get my driver's license, getting ready to do my thing. I hope to be driving, and my father, like I said, we were at this point in time. My mother and father separated, and I was back in Tennessee. We moved all around, and I moved back to Tennessee with my father. Well, my dad wanted to buy my brother and I a car. Well, probably the only thing that we could really afford at the time was two Volkswagen Beetles for $300. I mean, it was a perfect deal. Yeah, $300.
Dang.
And, one was a Super Beetle. I wanted to say it was a 72, 73, and the other was a 1970 standard Beetle that it was my thing, you know? And I had a choice. I got to pick out. He actually gave me the option instead of my middle brother the option, which my middle brother still says stuff about that. And but I wanted wanted the Super for a second because it had the sunroof. I was like, yeah, I could roll back the sunroof. You know, be in East Tennessee, I can go to the lake, I can have this sunroof back. Well, anyways, looking a little further at the Super Beetle, it was rusted out. I mean, the body, it looked like, I guess Tennessee salt, whatever got to it, and it had been a lot of work. So I wanted something a little more solid. So the 70, I looked at it. It was basically the floor pans needed to be replaced, and of course, replacing the 1x6 that I had as a front bumper. But yeah, that's when that car showed up, and I couldn't believe it. I looked at my dad and I said, "Really, a wooden bumper on this car?" And he just kind of laughed. He's like, "Look, we're going to replace all that. That's no big deal." But I actually drove around for probably about 3, 4 months with that wooden bumper on the front of that car. It was crazy.
What does a car like that teach a young guy?
For me, I think respect for cars, and not only respect for money. To be honest, when you when you see your father, and I get it. I've bought cars, but there's something about getting those cars and it's yours and that freedom when you're at that age. There's something about even working on it and having that car and you see a project. And I know this sounds cliche, and I hate to sound like this, but I have always had a little knack when I can see cars, especially Volkswagens or even motorcycles I used to ride. But I can see the future of it almost. It's almost like I can see things put on it. And I know there's a lot of builders out there that sees that. And it's just, to me, it's unique. And I would love that feeling. And that's kind of, but I think it teaches a young man, especially respect,
Mhm.
uh, just respect for how things can break down on you when you have no money and how you're going to fix it. It teaches you a lot of lessons.
Yeah, you're gonna figure it out. So do you think then that in your life that with these first cars, do you think this is where the obsession started for you, or was it before this even?
I think I might have got stung with it at an early age. I think that it probably bit me then, but I didn't realize as much until my very first Beetle, my 70 Beetle. I think that getting in that car and the adventures that car and I went on were incredible. I mean, they really were. I mean, it was only, well, I'll say only, but mostly around Western North Carolina and Eastern Tennessee.
I had a 72 standard fresh out of high school, 1995, 96 was when I bought this car, Tyrone Square Mall parking lot, St. Petersburg, Florida. I paid 2 grand for it. Had 70 something thousand miles on it. Bought it from a little old lady, one owner. It was beautiful.
Wow.
But you just said something that resonated with me and made me want to say those details, and that was the stories and the adventures that you went on in that car. I did the same thing, man. So, between going down south to Boca Grande and fishing, for tarpon in the pass and taking that car down there and linking up with some charter boat captains and, getting out there and fishing to East Coast trips and Venice trips. I mean, we used to strap the surfboards up on the roof. My buddies at first were like, man, hold on. You expect us to get in that little car and you think that thing's gonna make it? You
Yeah,
think
absolutely.
you think that thing's gonna make it all the way, into Orlando and then drive down the Beeline and we're gonna go to the East Coast? Man, you're crazy. But hey, we'll do it. We'll try it.
Right,
And that
right.
went from that to a year or two later. Hey, we're all going in the Beetle, because now they
Exactly.
could trust it. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
But yeah, man, this ain't about me. This is definitely about you.
No, I think it is. I think it's about the whole community. and that's why you're doing what you do. And we do appreciate you, man. I mean, I know that that's something that's very important. It really is.
Thank you, man. And I agree, because guys like you and being able to lock these stories in for life, this is what it's all about, man, is telling these stories. Everybody's got a Volkswagen story, but not everybody has a whole lifetime around them. So
Right.
when I get these opportunities to connect with guys like you, your family, your brothers, yourself, the whole thing, your father, the whole picture, it's just such a great thing, man. So thank you for coming on for sure.
Thank you for having me for sure. Definitely.
Now,
Definitely.
in your backstory, you mentioned that you went through a tough period. Uh,
Yeah.
Talk to me about this tough period. What happened?
Well, well, later on in life now, through college, I did well through college. Now I had several Beetles. I had a Volkswagen Thing. I drove it to college. Um,
Cool. What year?
yeah, 1973. You ever seen that? Well, I'm sure you have, but the Charlotte Hornet green color.
Hell yeah. Nor
It was
is that like it's
they
the
called it a
green version of North Carolina blue.
right. They
Yeah.
called it a Beat You Blue is what it was called.
Okay.
I think it was called Beat You Blue, and I wanted to say I can't remember the company that made it. But anyways, my brother bought that car in Sumter, South Carolina. He lived here my middle brother lived here at the time, but he bought the car. It's white. Bought it for $1,000 at a car lot. I ended up with it and painted it that color because he picked it out. Did some work on it. Took the had to put a new top on it. Man, there's so many things in that car. Driving back and forth from East Tennessee to Greenville, North Carolina or South Carolina, and I went to school there in college there, and man, I had a '68 Beetle at the time as well, and my father and I built a motor in that thing. There's so much. I mean, but like the hard times that I've gone through, you know, life throws some really peculiar things. And there's guys out there that's been in tougher times than me, but looking at divorces, you know, I had a child with a lady, and look, my child's great. He's going to school. Uh, just there's a lot of struggles and a lot of hardship. Like, um, I'll be honest with you, there was early in my life, my mom was telling me that uh, I could have been somebody else's son.
Wow.
Right, right, correct. Now, here's what's crazy. Come to find out, 2 years ago, I took a test, a DNA test, and because my middle brother and I just wanted to know, we didn't care because we're brothers. We're
Right.
always going to be brothers. We're family.
Yeah,
This is how
exactly. That
this is
shit,
how strong that bond goes.
it's thicker,
And
it's thicker than blood.
it is
Yeah.
100% love, man, will always conquer.
Yeah.
And come to find out, I am somebody else's son, but I'm still an Estep, 100%,
Damn.
100%.
Okay. All right.
And anyways, so when I refer to my father was an Estep because he's the one that provided me with my first car, my
Yeah.
passion for Beetles, uh, my roof over my head, food, everything. Might not have had a lot of money, but we had a lot of love, and I love that. I would never change anything about that. I know I'm kind of getting off the subject there, but
It's all right. No. So through the hard times,
yeah,
did you lose any of your cars?
I did.
Okay.
At the time, I had a '74 slammed standard Beetle. I cut the roof out of it, and I bought one of those. I don't remember the company, but it was out of Arizona, where you could drop in a rag top. And in my brother's driveway, we sat and measured 20,000 times. It felt like, but measured everything, cut the roof out. I put original Fuchs wheels off of a 911 on it.
Hmm.
I sent to get the drums drilled out somewhere in Minnesota. Uh, and I didn't have a ton of money. I was just doing it when I saved money up. I'd get little things done. And I love that car, dual carbs. It only had like MP34 picks on it, but that man, it runs strong. Uh, like a 1776. It was just a great little car. I miss that car in a sense, but it kind of pushed me to go further. But I did lose that car. I lost it because I wanted to get out of it, I thought. Wanted to do more of the Harley riding, which I did. I rode all of it. I can pinpoint anywhere in Florida, at any city in Florida, and I've been there on a motorcycle.
St. Pete, St. Pete.
St. Pete, I love St. Pete.
That's
Hey,
that's where
how
I'm
can you
born.
not go to the Dolly Museum? The Dolly Museum is the best, man.
Hey, so when we do V-Dubs on the Pier in January at the Dolly Museum, right across the street from the Dolly Museum is a little park called Albert Whitted Park. That scene of those cars lined up right when we're about to start that parade, about 250 cars, when the photographer is in the background, he's taking that picture of, all those cars lined up 3 rows and that big giant Dolly Museum, the big glass bubbles, like kind of encompassing the whole backdrop. It's just a sick shot. And I knew you could connect with it because you said it, Dolly Museum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that show, that's one of the shows I've been marking on my list. That's definitely a show I've been wanting to go to. And I've seen some YouTube videos. If you guys doing that, I watch everybody's YouTube video if it has anything to do with Volkswagens.
Okay, so you've seen the drone flying in and out of the buses?
Absolutely, it's gorgeous, man.
Yeah.
I'm dying to get there. I promise you, I'm coming down.
All right, good stuff, man. You are more than welcome. More than welcome. I'll be looking forward to it. Now, fast forward just a little bit. You lost that car, but your brother and your niece surprised you with a Beetle. Walk me through that moment.
All right, that is the same car.
Oh,
It was
hold on a
bought
minute.
from. Yeah,
You got
no,
it
that
back?
car. Yeah, that no. Here's the thing. That car, when I lost that car, I did trading. I was doing trading with my oldest brother that lives in Ohio now.
Okay.
But that car was bought at a local Volkswagen dealership. Well, not dealership. It was a shop. It was named Jerry's Bug Shop, which God rest his soul. He passed away last August. He was an amazing man. Did so much work for me. But Jerry had it in his front of his shop, and so my brother comes by my apartment, and I was driving an old 1980 West German Ford Fiesta, not a Festiva, but it was a Fiesta. So the hood would open up the wrong way, like a European car. It was slow. It was a cool car. I painted it, hand painting, doing my own thing. But anyways, my brother comes by my apartment, picks me up, and goes, "Hey, I need you to go with me and check out this Carmagia that I'm looking at restoring." And I said, "Oh, yeah, Carmagia, that's pretty cool, man." He goes, "Yeah, it's a convertible. This thing's going to be right." He goes, "It's at Jerry's Bug Shop. We need to ride up here and look at it and see what you think. I'd like to get your opinion on it." I said, "Yeah, cool, let's go." So we hopped in the car, and at the time, my niece was about 5, 6 years old. And so we get out the car, and Jerry's closed. So he's already locked up for the day. He's gone. But the Beetle's sitting outside the fence of his lot, and the Carmagia that my brother was trying to refer to was on the right side of his building in the weeds. Yeah, that we get over there, and I look at this car, and it's destroyed. I mean, it looked like a tree fell on top of it. I mean, it was just destroyed. I looked at my brother and I said, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "This car right here, man, this car McGee, I want to restore it." And I'm like, "I don't know about that car, Scott. That car was gone." Anyways, my niece is tugging on him as he's talking about this car McGee. And she's like, no, Dad, the Beetle, the orange Beetle." And my brother looks down and I can see him go, "No, shh, calm down, calm down." And she's like, "No, Dad, the orange Beetle, the orange Beetle." Because it was orange before I painted it. And I never liked orange Beetles. That was one of my only things. I'm sorry, I just don't like orange Beetles. But anyways, finally he looks at me and goes, "Hey, man." He just pulls the keys out of his pocket and he gives them to me and puts them in my hand. And he goes, I bought you a Beetle, man. I said, what? He said, I don't want you to be around driving around that little car. I want you to drive around something that you enjoy, and you've always enjoyed Volkswagens. And he goes, we can do something with this one. He goes, now third cylinder is knocking, so it needs a rebuild, but we'll fix that. We'll get that fixed. And I said, oh, dude, because I'm not the greatest of mechanics. I'm one of those shade tree kind of guys that try to, but I learn a lot. And well, I got the motor rebuilt in it, and that was my car, man. I drove that car around and did all that work to it over the years. I drove that car for a while. And then, well, like I said before, when I traded it to my oldest brother, sold it to my oldest brother, he took it to Ohio and had it for about a year in his driveway. And some young kid bought it there. It's like, I think he was like 18 years old. And they went and redid the motor again, and now he's driving it around in Ohio, up around Youngstown, Ohio, right now. So that car's still on the road.
Still same wheels.
Same wheels, slammed. I mean, it had so much custom work done to it. I mean, of course, like this, everybody does steering wheels. We all do the wheels, steering wheels, static lowering,
Yeah. So fast forward, I guess more to recent times. You build a lot of cars now. You've had a lifetime around these cars. Is building cars, I know you said you're more of a shade tree type mechanic, but is it still kind of like therapeutic for you, like it is for a lot of these builders?
100%, 100%. And I don't think I realized it early on in life, in my 20s and 30s, of how much it is therapeutic for me. I mean, just yesterday, I've got a few visitors in at my house right now, but in my garage, they went and took a little nap, and I get out the house, I go out in my garage, and I go work on my bus. I mean, I'm out there. I'm probably out there more than I am in my house, other than taking a shower, sleep, and that's about it.
Yeah. So your dad, this is going to be a good story because this was in the intro as well. Let's talk about the bus with the flowers and the big FU on on the side of it. What is this story? And what did he do the FU or what?
No, he did not. He did
Okay.
not. This thing was pulled out of the woods in a place up in Mountain City, Tennessee. So that's the very tip of East Tennessee, close to the North Carolina line.
Okay.
I don't know how the bus got the FU and the flowers on it. Apparently, there was some.
Somebody was pissed.
Somebody was pissed. But my dad bought the bus for, I think it was like $180, $170.
What
Yes,
was the bus?
it was like a 74 bay window,
Okay.
stripped out.
Lefty or transporter or
It was a transporter. It was a 10 top.
okay.
It was a walk through.
Yeah.
Had no middle seat. Had a back seat that was ripped up. Had the two front seats were pretty good, but nothing else inside. And it was red and white top, red bottom. Well, he gets it, and my oldest brother, living in Tennessee at the time around him, went and helped him got it out. Those two worked together very well. And in fact, my oldest brother said he had to put a nail in the back hub on the nut so it wouldn't spin out, spin off. And I remember that thing, they pulled it to my dad's house and sat there for a little while. They worked on it a little bit, had it running. Well, here comes my middle brother, like, man, where'd you guys, we went up to visit. He was from South Carolina. So he came up from South Carolina. Said, man, where'd you get that bus? I want to buy that. Well, of course, my oldest brother at the time already bought it for my dad. I think he paid him like $300 for it. So my middle brother, double his money. Hey, this is good. My family loves to do this, but we're good with each other, and I love it. I truly do. So my middle brother, he goes, I'll sell it to you for $1,500. And my middle brother bought it.
Yeah.
An even funnier story I'm the youngest. I ended up with it. I had a 65 Mustang at the time. It was had a 289 in it, uh, automatic and floor, and I still had my black Beetle at the time too. Well, that car, I wanted that bus so bad. So I traded the 65 Mustang that I picked up on a trade, and I drove that bus for like 3 years, and I love that thing. It ran like a champion. It really did. I mean, that was I tinted the windows, painted. My middle brother helped me get it painted. We got it painted black on the bottom, white on top. Have the 5-star MP wheels on it. It did have adapters on it. Uh, it was a cool bus, tinted, dark tinted windows. You couldn't even see in that thing.
Hmm.
And me getting to skip around in it, I loved it, man.
What do you think? Tell me why VW buses are such a different experience over Beetles.
The sitting experience to me, even in the splitties and even in the bay windows, the sitting position experience for me is the best. It's like you have full view of everything. It's almost like you don't have a windshield. I guess it's kind of like riding a motorcycle, if it makes sense. Um, you
My
have a
thing,
full view.
my thing was like that. I had a 74 thing. I could take the roof back, I could drop the windshield, and it was like riding a motorcycle. Really?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Same thing when I had my 73. When I do that, it was a great feeling, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. But that was definitely, a bay window for me is the. I've always loved bays. I've always enjoyed them. I want to get a splitty. I want to do all that. I'm still I work in progress. That's what it's still.
Oh yeah. We're always going to be combing marketplace looking for deals for sure, but one day it'll happen. We all of us. I want a bay. That's where I'm at. I want an early bay. I probably want like a 69, 70 or a 71. Uh,
There's
yeah, man.
so many people I've seen so many of them. I just went to a show Saturday at Nisi's Motorplex and just on the other side of Orangeburg, South Carolina, and I met some great people there. Incredible time. I drove the blue bus, uh, and man, I mean, there was just I saw 169 low light,
Mm.
uh, and it was in such great condition, and it's just
I'll get one
incredible
day.
to me.
I'll get one day, just like
You
you.
will, man.
Yeah, man.
You definitely will.
It's just, time's got to be right. Now, you traded a Harley for a bus. Is that this same
Yes.
bus? Tell me about that story.
Ah, and I still, this is the bus that I built my garage around. It's
Ah,
yeah, 1978 CE2. So it's a champagne edition. Uh,
hey. Oh, you
yeah.
fancy,
Oh,
huh?
ooh la la. But, Volkswagen, I don't know if a lot of people, I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there that know, but Volkswagen in the late 70s, they took one model, a Beetle, Rabbit, bus, and they took them and they made these champagne editions. So they did all these funky colors, like that puke green looking with green carpet and
Yeah.
green
Look like
interior.
look like Dirk Diggler's living room.
Exactly. And the champagne edition is the same exact way, man. The champagne edition is nothing less of that. It was so the champagne edition on the buses they took and did like a date brown is the original color that it's called, and on top they did a fox red,
Okay.
and those are original paint names. I'm like, okay, well, fox red, and then the interior was a Cabernet carpet with Cabernet interior and like a cream insert in the seats. It's not a great color in the buses, in my opinion. Some people love them, and I get it. Um, I mean, I love this bus, but I've customized it. I'm still working on it. But I built a 24 by 30 garage just for this bus because
Right.
I think this bus truly brought me back within the past 5 years of being back into Volkswagens, man. Just being back in and totally loving it, you know?
So you built the garage around this bus having one, and now
100%.
now you have four. So
Four.
so what happened? Did you get lucky, or did the stars align, or what's going on here?
A little bit of star aligning has definitely happened. I come about getting my father's. My father was always in the Volkswagen, but my father became a Shriner,
Okay.
and he did a lot of stuff for the Shriners Hospital and stuff, and he did parades. So he had a '60s Beetle. It's not a Max, but hey, he did, couldn't really find a Max body, but it's a '70s body on a '59 chassis,
Okay.
and I really love to have the '59, to be honest with you, but
The 859, beautiful 2 years. They only made that back window for 2 years.
I know it breaks my heart thinking about it, but that's okay. Um, so in 1995, he built himself a dune buggy, and this thing has probably, I would say, to be honest, 1835 cc. I'm not quite sure. Solid motor, very solid motor. It's got probably 2,000 miles on it.
Wow.
Yeah, because all he used it for was parades
Right.
and
Okay.
the Shriners parades.
Yeah.
So I've got it in my garage. I just pulled my oldest brother came down. He's down to visit, and he just pulled the motor for me. We've pulled it out. I've got it on a stand. We're going to go through it. Uh, I'm doing like a 90 amp alternator on it. I'm going to hook it up. I've got a new distributor I'm putting in. I'm doing a new dog housing. I got
Mm.
that super shroud. I figured I'd try it out, see how that thing works.
Sounds
I
good.
just I just bought a Del Toro 40 carburetor at a swap meet. I'm gonna put those on it. Just kind of I want to put some boost on it, but it's a good little car, to be honest with you. That one will never go anywhere. It's my father's, so
Right.
I want to make it a. I want to redo the body, the interior stuff, and I want to make it a monument basically for him and
Cool.
for
Very
his, and pass it along through the family.
hell yeah, man. So in your life, looking at it, 30,000 foot view, when did this go from a hobby in your life to really more of an identity in your life?
Uh, I would definitely say probably in my college years, right in the beginning of the college years, the '68 Beetle that I had and traded around in the family a little bit. It was a great car, mint condition. Uh, the Jerry at Jerry's Bug Shop here in Sumter that did it back then. He went through every bolt of that car, and everything was it was absolute. It was the Savannah beige with beige interior and had the aftermarket air conditioning underneath the dash.
Oh,
Uh,
cool.
that car I think probably did it for me, to be honest. Now, of course, even going through my life and having some hard times, I think it's always been there. But I think, like I just said, in the past 5 years, I think the Champagne Edition bus has really thrown like gasoline on the fire. Um, I mean, I just picked up about a year ago. I picked up a '63 Beetle that I'm working on. I'm finishing up the interior in that. I'm working on the Champagne interior right now.
I
But
love it.
I'm one of those guys. Don't get me wrong. I love car shows. I think they're great, and I love people that love that. And you get your awards. I truly love that for them. But for me, it's more about the mechanics and the drive, just the drive and the adventure when you get in a car like that and just go.
You gotta, to me, like somebody listening to this that doesn't know, that's never driven in a Volkswagen, especially a classic one, it's not really something you can describe, really. You know what I
That's a
mean? So,
fact.
so when you say the drive, like I feel that. Not a lot of people that aren't in this scene can feel that because they don't understand. These cars drive amazingly. They're
Right.
engineered to with perfection. They're great. even
Right.
lower, whatever, dude, they ride amazing, right?
I agree.
They're great
It's
cars.
that feeling. There's just, I don't know what it is.
I
I
know.
mean, you can have a stock steering wheel, you can have an aftermarket steering wheel.
Still
So
back.
there's nothing, there's something about it. I mean, it's just a feel. When I just drove my bus to the show this past weekend, man, just leaning on that steering wheel and looking out that window and just having your tunes playing and the wind blowing in your hair. Uh,
I
and I
love
do
it.
have a little bit. I'm sorry, but you
I
know what I'm
don't.
saying.
I don't. You
You
got me.
still feel the wind, man.
You got me. Dude, I might feel it more than you do. So
No, but
what are your friends and even more or less your family? What do they say about your collection these days?
uh, they love it because they know that I'm passionate about it.
Sure.
Now they do think I'm a little crazy because I do go extensively when I go to. I'll find shops that close down or are closing or people that have shops, and they will. I'll go buy like, you know, a case of wheel bearings for the left and right front of a '63 Beetle, and they're like, "Why?" And I'm like, "I just want to have the stock." I just want to. I mean, I've got 6 linkages for dual carburetors. Some of them are not even worth a crap, but I have them, and I just like I collect.
When the apocalypse comes, we know where to come for parts.
I've got. You guys need accelerator cables, fan belts, whatever. You just let me know. You just let me know if
Uh,
you need a belt.
so in your collection or in the thought process of acquiring, is there ever a final car? Does it ever end, or is it like most of us where we're just always searching?
There's two.
Okay, so you do have two finals. Let's hear about them.
Um, One is a big outreach because I would definitely like to have an all metal body, and I know this is nine. It's a 1956 356 horse speed.
Yes, sir.
That's that's my that's been my dream since I was 19 years old. Uh,
Wow, that's a
I
beaut.
got to ride in. I got to ride in one and actually drive one at 19 years old. My first year in college. A gentleman near in North Greenville, South Carolina, actually uh, had a shop, and I drove my '68 Beetle by it, and he came out and we took a ride together, and he let me drive it.
Wow.
So yeah, all metal 1956 356. Now that's a far reach, but
Hey, I asked if there was a final. You know what I mean? So that's
but
a
to be
pretty
honest,
awesome one to land on.
to be truly honest, the 1963 uh, double cab Splitty.
Oh yeah.
That's what I want. I mean,
Okay.
that's truly probably my goal. My end goal is 63. Look, early 60s all day long, whatever. I even like the 50s buses. I mean, but I don't know why that 60s era, you know.
Yeah, hey man, we all got that one. For me, it's a 68, 69 bay window. I want a safari windshield.
Yes.
I want to slam it. I know, hey man, you're gonna mess up the ride. You're gonna blah blah. Yeah, shut up.
Do what you want. You're gonna
Exactly.
laugh. I put a Safari window into Champagne Edition.
Did you?
Yes, I do have
Hey.
one in it. It's a base Safari, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it's amazing.
Oh
They
man, you're
it
just gonna
it
motivate
cools
me
the
to want
whole
it even more.
it cools the whole thing down. I've got a Safari in the back too.
Yeah,
That
dude, you got full flow.
yeah, full flow. And I mean, look, I'm gonna and look, it's I'm not rich now. I save up. I do a lot of swaps. And that's how I get my things. Really, I mean,
Hey,
I just got to do what you got to do in life to get those cars out there, man, and get them on the road.
yeah, man, absolutely. So answer this question for me.
Yeah,
Why Volkswagen specifically?
I've always been fascinated with German engineering. No lie, I know Germans have a hard time with electrical. I mean, we can go back to a '88 Scirocco or an '80,
I,
or a
I think the
Rabbit.
80s had just a bad time with
Oh,
electrical, just in the
you know,
80s.
I love driving those cars, but you're right. They had so many problems.
I think
But
all manufacturers, to be honest,
to be
Chrysler,
honest,
the K car. I mean, shit.
oh,
When you were putting bad electrical and PCV valves in cars and stuff like that, I mean, you're just like, what, dude? Like, what the hell were y'all thinking? Even
exactly,
The Ford truck's normally an unstoppable force.
exactly,
The
exactly.
1980s, the Ford truck was an electrical nightmare.
It
So,
was bad.
yeah, man. So I got
But my thing is, I don't know. To be honest with you, I think Volkswagen put me, and don't get me wrong when I say this, because I love all of Volkswagens. I love water cooled and air cooled.
yeah,
And then you have some guys that are a little more purist with one side or the other. But for me, I do love air cooled a little bit more. And the reason why is if you can try to push as much horsepower out of a car that's being cooled by air and to make it run and consistently run as long as all these cars have over these years, it's amazing to me. It
it,
blows my mind.
me too. Me too. Straight up, and I like the story I told you. I go back to high school, man. Everybody doubted that car. I didn't. That car brought me and my friends everywhere, dude.
Look,
Every
my first that 70 Beetle we talked about, I took that thing. We had this one hill, and we had a minor league team, Minnesota Twins, in our hometown, and it had a literally like a cliff of a hill that had a road that goes up with four wheel drive. That four wheel drives would go up it, and they would struggle going up. I took that 70 Beetle with snow tires on the back of it, straight up with it with my friends in it, and
yeah,
it was amazing.
yeah, I bet. I bet. You hear that them kind of great stories about traction and not getting stuck, etc. Again, you go
Exactly.
back to that engineering, dude. The weight in the back, I mean, yeah,
It's incredible. It
yeah,
really truly is incredible.
yeah, yeah. Now, looking back over time, you have mentioned quite a few times, even throughout the podcast, that this isn't really just your story. It's
It
also
is.
it's also your family story. Explain that to me.
Well, today, with my father, exposing me to the Beetle, to Volkswagen, really, and exposing our whole family. He had him. He was stationed in Germany. He had a '65 Mustang in Germany, and also had a Beetle in Germany. Yeah,
Oh,
he bought the
whoa.
Beetle while he was there, and I can't remember the year. I wasn't even born yet, but my two brothers got to ride in it over in Germany. I
Wow.
wasn't even a twinkle in the eye of, you know.
Sure, sure.
But to be honest with you, that car, uh, well, that time frame with him, I think the with my brothers, my oldest brother is a great mechanic. He's very good with his hands. He's a great welder. Impresses me. I mean, beyond means, he impresses me. My
Yeah.
middle brother is just his heart's so big. I mean, he's got a heart of gold. I mean, he would give the shirt off of it. We all would. We'd give the shirt off of our backs for people
Yeah,
just to help them out.
y'all sound like a pretty tight family, man. We'd probably be friends if you were close.
Look, hey, we
I'm
can
the
still be
youngest in
friends.
my family as well. I've got
We can
12
still,
brothers. Yeah, man.
yeah.
I'm the youngest as well. We went through the good times, the hard times, everything, but we're still close. We all have our own families, we all do our own thing, but I can describe both of my brothers and say just the greatest things about both of them in the memories I have from my childhood. And I feel, that a lot of it relates to almost kind of like the stories that you've been telling. As a younger brother, you kind of get to sit back and learn from them, meaning
100%.
you get to learn from their mistakes. You're like, oh, hey, this is exactly what I'm not going to do, bud. Thanks for getting arrested. All right. No, I don't got to do
That is the truth.
that.
Hey, that's another story for another time.
But man, I'm the youngest as well. And I do have a younger sister biologically, but she didn't grow up in the same household as us. Still, we're very close. But inside our family, inside our unit of the, being under the same roof, it was just like you, two older brothers, a dad that was close, and all that good stuff. So,
and see, that you got to thank your parents for that, because
oh,
they're the ones that
sure.
created that. That's awesome.
Yeah, man, you're definitely not wrong. Not even a little bit. And it was my dad solo, actually. So
Wow.
yeah, man. Big ups to him for sure. He stuck it out. He raised some crazy ass boys. We were nuts, dude. We were nuts.
We were too.
We got
Hey,
a
he
shitload
put
of
up with
trouble.
he put up with so much crap.
Oh,
But
mine too. Mine too.
and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I look back at my dad and what he put up with, and I'm like, I'm just amazed. I've got a daughter, like I said, that's in college, and she's the best thing ever. I mean, she's the nicest person ever. I was like, how in the world? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, no, so we were a different time. You see those memes and stuff out there. We drank from the garden hose. We had fucking uh,
Yep.
rotary dial phones, and we had to stop by pay phones on the side of the road to call home to say we wrecked our bike and got a flat tire, come pick us up type stuff. It was just different. You know what I mean? It was different.
Absolutely.
But I look back too, like you just said, my kids too. They're just so different than I was when I was young. And I'm so grateful for
Yeah,
that. I just give them the best life I possibly can, regardless
absolutely.
of how hard I have to work or whatever I have to do to make sure that I provide for them. I moved out when I was 17. I was forced into life, to fend for myself. And I think it was the best thing that ever could have happened to me. Looking back at my life now, I'm 48 years old, but I don't want my kids to struggle like I had to.
Right.
And
Right.
period. So when my wife and we've been together 25 years, when we first met and we talked about starting a family one day, literally, man, the conversations we used to have were, hey, they ain't gonna struggle like we did. One
Right.
day we're gonna provide for them. They're gonna go to college. They're gonna stay at home the whole time. We're not like trying to force them out. You hear about them families all the time that are like, hey man,
You gotta
18,
go.
yeah, you out of here.
Right.
That's never been me, never will be me. I don't give a flying shit how old they are. They can stay here. I'm not
Right.
messing them up. I'm gonna
I'll build
launch them, and I'm gonna launch
right.
them properly.
I'll build a house in the backyard. I don't care.
Amen. Amen. All right. Let's go back to Volkswagens. Any of these cars that you have, do you plan to pass any of them down?
Absolutely. Every one of them.
Okay, good for
I've,
you.
I've got a niece that's my middle brother has a younger daughter, and she just turned like 7. Going to be 8 soon. I say she just turned 7. She's getting ready to be 8. And she loves riding in my blue bus, the picture that you saw. Well, I take her for rides downtown, stomp her all the time, and
Oh, man.
she loves it. She absolutely loves it. But I haven't decided on which bus she's going to more than likely get. But
Oh,
my
cool.
daughter, and then my daughter's probably going to get everything else to do whatever she wants to. But she loves Volkswagens as well.
Oh, dude, she gonna do it. She gonna get into them. She'll show them. She'll have dad's cars.
And
Dude, it don't get no better.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I
man.
really do.
Yeah, that's so awesome. All right, brother. I got some rapid fire style questions. These are questions that demand a fast response. If a
Shoot 'em.
story comes of it, great. If not, all good. We don't have to have a story either. They're designed to be fast. So, you ready for them?
Ready.
All right. Number one, first up, Beetle or bus?
Bus.
Only pick one. All right. That was
Bus.
quick. All right. Air cooled or nothing?
Air cooled.
Yeah, come on. It don't. That was probably a dumb question, but but
No, it's
but
all good.
okay. How about this? Because you mentioned kind of, you floated in the 50s and 60s, so I kind of think where your answer is going to be. But how about the best decade for VWs?
Can I go half a decade? Let's go early 60s.
Yeah, you can go half a decade. That's still, yeah. Early 60s.
I'm a Bay guy. I love the late Bays,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
early 60s for some reason I don't know the cars, man, the headlights. Oh
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Even the dashes, like
yeah.
the Gia, great car, all through the 60s. In the 70s, I have one, a 71. And I like the metal dashes better. I just do.
That's me. That's me.
I just do. I just really do. All right. Dream road trip location.
Ooh, uh, buses by the bridge probably
Hey man, me too, dude. We need to link. We'll
for
go
sure.
when I
Buses by the
if I
bridge.
ever get a bay window, I'm coming up. I'm gonna pick you up and we're gonna head up there together. We're gonna do
Yeah,
bus.
I'm there.
I
Hey,
gotta do that too myself, man.
the desert, man. There's
Yeah.
something about it.
I spent 12 years in Colorado, and there's just something about being west. There's no moisture. There ain't no rust in them cars. I mean,
Right.
none,
Right. None.
dude. I mean, you're just like, wait a minute. What year is this thing?
Right.
How?
Yeah.
You
What
know
did
what I
you
mean?
weld on it? What did you
Right,
weld on it? What
right,
panel did you
right.
put on it?
Cover this thing solid gold. No, but it's
Yeah.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Busted by the bridge though. Good answer. And yeah, one day we'll make that happen. All right, how about this one?
Absolutely.
Manual or automatic? No explanation.
Manual
Yeah, all day. All right.
all day long. In fact, all my cars are manual right now.
Now you already said this, so I'm pretty sure I've got the answer to this one. But one VW that you're going to keep forever.
My dad's.
Yeah, yeah,
It's my soul. It's my soul to it's connected to him. I mean, he passed away in 2000. So
yeah,
yeah, and that's the one.
yeah. Okay. Um, most emotional moment tied to a car in your life.
I'd have to say when my brother handed me those keys because I cried like a little baby. I'm
Oh,
not even gonna lie, dude. I was out of college. Well, actually, I was still taking some night classes at USC, University of South Carolina, and I cried like a little baby.
yeah,
I mean, what an emotional scene!
yeah.
It was incredible. My brothers are phenomenal guys. They really are.
Sounds like it. So are mine, man. So are mine. Describe the Volkswagen community for me in just one word.
Phenomenal.
Oh, that's a good one, man. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like it. Man, this has been a good one. This has been good times, good story. This wasn't just about cars. This is about family, identity, finding your way back when life knocks you down. I swear, man, this has been a great conversation.
I've loved talking with you, man.
If you ever love something that carried you through life, you get it. You'll get this conversation too, brother. Thank you, man, for your time. I appreciate you. I think we got
Phil,
a
you're the
good
best.
episode. And that's a wrap for this episode of DubLife Diaries. Thanks for riding along with us and diving into these incredible stories of the people in the dubs that drive their dreams. If you love today's episode, don't forget to subscribe or hit that follow button so you never miss an adventure. Do you have a story to tell or know somebody else who's living the dub life? Awesome! Reach out to us. You can find us on all socials at DubLife Diaries or shoot me an email. I'm not hard to find. DubLifeDiaries@gmail.com. Until next time, keep the engines humming and the wheels turning and always follow the road that inspires you. This is Joe Person. I'm signing off. I'll catch you on the next ride.